everyone, my name is Shelby. I go by Stitches by Shelby here on YouTube and also over on Instagram, and welcome back for Flosstube number 35. If you're new here, Flosstube is the little corner of YouTube where we talk mostly about cross stitch. Sometimes I share other crafts as well, and this is normally the part where I would say, but it's mostly cross stitch. But today, it is actually not mostly cross stitch. I have been really enjoying some other crafts lately. Not necessarily losing my stitchy bug, but just really appreciating the other hobbies that I have. So today it is a little late on the cross stitch. I think it'll be a pretty quick episode overall because I haven't been crafting as much the past couple of weeks. But I'm going to show you some other really cool stuff. So if you want to stick around and see some not cross stitch stuff, I would really appreciate that. But I'm forewarning you, it is not a cross stitch heavy episode. We do have Apricot here again with us today. He has not been doing so well the past couple of weeks. Honestly, the past couple of months. He is an older cat and he has a few chronic health issues that are just kind of coming to a head the past couple of weeks. So I think that's partially why I haven't been crafting quite as much. I've been worried about him, but we are doing what we can for him and we appreciate any good thoughts that you send our way. All right, so without further ado, I'm just gonna dive right in. I did have one start and finish the past couple of weeks. And this is the Halloween Garden pattern by Una Buena Pieza. Talked about them a few times before, and I think they are becoming like one of my favorite designers. They have so many really cute patterns. A lot of them feature these little ghosts, which I'm just like obsessed with. I think they're so cute. But this is a freebie actually. It's available. I know it's linked through their Instagram, so I will try to link their Instagram down below. You can get this as a freebie chart. And I decided to start this on Halloween. I wasn't sure if I was gonna have a Halloween start because I had some other plans, but I ended up having enough time to start and I got a good start on it, and then I finished it over the next couple of days. This is stitched on 16 count black Aida, and it's using most of the called for DMCs. The one substitution I did make, which I don't know if is gonna come across on camera, I did the ghosts in the ecru etoile where it called for ecru. I don't think you're seeing any of the sparkle, but in person it is just the teeniest bit sparkly, and I thought it just added a nice little shimmer to it, and I just am obsessed with this finish. And I think I want to get like a smaller square frame, but then get like a round cut mat, and I think that would look really nice and might make it part of my permanent decorations, but we'll see. Anyways, this is finished and it'll be put away for now. I don't have any of the supplies to finish it at the moment. So, but I am super happy with how it came out. It was a very quick stitch and I just think it's adorable. So that is Halloween Garden by Una Buena Pieza, and this is a freebie. It's available on their website, and I will try to link what I can below. I also had just one cross stitch whip these past couple of weeks. I told you it's not a cross stitch heavy episode. I have been working on Supernatural Stitch Along by the Witchy Stitcher, and I'll put in a picture of where that stitch along is at right now. I'm still a teensy bit behind, but I did do a lot of catch up. There was a week break too, which helped me. So here's where I am at. Is that all in frame? I think so. So since the last time you've seen this, oh goodness, I don't know. I did have the gnome because I made a comment about my French knots. But since you've last seen this, I have stitched the vampire, the harpy, the fairy, and I started working on the ogre, but I haven't finished him yet. And the newest part that came out is the unicorn, and I love the style of that one, so I'm excited to get to that one. So see if the lighting's better this way. Oh yes, it is. All right, so the only big changes I made, most of this is stitched exactly as called for, but on the vampire, again, I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell, but I did switch out the called for skin colors with DMC etoile. They didn't have the exact colors that the pattern called for, but I just did the best I could. Obviously, I did that so that the vampire skin sparkles just a little bit, because I'm a Twilight fangirly through and through. I am stitching this on 36 count. Shoot, why can I never remember the name of this fabric? I am stitching this on 36 count Bronze Age by Bestitch Me, and I am just really enjoying this. Although I do think once I finish up the ogre, I'm going to put this away for a while because this has literally been all I've been working on in my stitching time, and I would like to pull out some other projects. Especially since now that we're past Halloween, it's officially Christmas and winter season, so I am I'm excited to get started on some of those crafts as well. But one last look of what I've done since the last time. I just really love these stitch alongs, and actually you can see today I have cryptids. I'm in a little bit different position right up there, and I'm excited to get this one framed right alongside it. But that's where I'm at on the Supernatural stitch along. And that concludes the cross stitch section. I don't know what's been up, but I have just been really into some other crafts lately. So I'm going to show you some crochet things and then some of my knitting. And then I have a really, really awesome book talk that I absolutely think you should stay around for because it might be my favorite book of the year. So moving on for now though. So the first thing I'm going to show you is I decided, so I didn't work on Halloween. Monday is my day off, but I did work the previous Saturday, so that was the 29th. The Friday before, I decided at like 4:30 that I really needed to make a witch hat so that I could be a witch the next day. I entirely blame this on the Joann's employee. I was helping my sister make a Halloween costume, and I needed to run out and get one thing that we had forgotten to get the first time around. As I was checking out with my like $3 purchase, I saw one of the employees there wearing this wonderfully magical, whimsical crocheted witch hat, and I was like, shoot dang, the inspiration struck and I just needed to do it. So this is not the same hat. I think I actually did find the hat pattern that she had, or that they had made, but this is my witch hat. So I made my husband drive me back to Joann's, and I spent a lot of money on the supplies. I absolutely could have bought a hat for less probably, but I needed to make it. So it's actually not quite finished. There's like a row of slip stitches around the base of the hat. I was already up until 1 o'clock in the morning finishing this the night before, and now that Halloween is past, I don't really feel the urge to pick this up again, but I did finish it. So this is the Slouchy Witch Hat pattern by the Enchanted Fae. I found it on Etsy, and the yarn is exactly the called for. So this is Red Heart Gemstone in the color Ametrine. And I made this with a 3.75 millimeter crochet hook, and I did have to make some adjustments. Even though I had measured my gauge early on and it looked like it was good, I don't know if like my head is just larger than an average adult head or if my stitching got tighter as the night went on, but it didn't quite fit me at the point that it was supposed to, so I did have to do a few extra rounds of repeats. But I did finish it, and I got lots of compliments on it at work, so 100% worth it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's very comfortable to wear, and I think it's very cute. And then I was very tired the next day at work, but no regrets. So this is the Slouchy Witch Hat by the Enchanted Fae, and this was my SAF, my start and finish project, although I would not recommend that you do it this way. This took me about 7 hours of basically nonstop crocheting, and to be honest, my hands still hurt. I bought some compression gloves and we're doing lots of stretches and we're trying to take it easy on some of the crafts, but I suffered for this, but I think it turned out so cool, and I love all the purple stripes and stuff in it. Just matches my aesthetic really well. So that was one of my crochet finishes, and the pattern was really well done. I would absolutely recommend that pattern. I would just give yourself more than 12 hours to finish it. Then I actually finished this before, but I just have stuff in a box next to me, so I'm just grabbing things out. So last episode I showed you that I had almost finished this little ghost amigurumi pattern by Spinny Yarn Crochet, and I did manage to finish it. I did finish it later that same day. This was a wonderfully quick project, and I am like obsessed with this velvet yarn. I want to make everything in this velvet yarn. I wish that Michaels had a brand of this. My Michaels does not sell the Bernay Velvet brand, and they don't really have something that's like, they have chenille velvet yarns, but they're not quite the same weight, like they're like bulkier yarns, and I like this one because it's like a worsted weight yarn. I think this is actually considered bulky, but I use it like a worsted weight and it's fine. But oh, I just love it so much, and I think this turned out so cute. This was a really easy pattern, and it gave me maybe too much confidence when I decided to start their zombie amigurumi. This is a much more complicated pattern. This is also by Spinny Yarn Crochet, and both of these patterns are free on their website. And I thought this was so cute, and because the ghost was like a one-day project, I was like, the zombie does not look that much bigger. How much more complicated can it be? Turns out a lot more complicated. So this is made with all worsted weight yarns. This is just all stuff I had in my stash, so I don't really remember. This is a Karen Simply Soft and Plum. That's the only one I remember. All the rest of these are just like the, you know, I'm sure they're like Red Heart Super Saver or, you know, the 1 pound, whatever. But just all made from yarn from my stash. I had never done color changes in crochet before. Also on the back, it is like the same. And that's a whole different beast. This required obviously more parts and more assembly. While I do love how it came out, this was a much more complicated project than I realized I was embarking on. But I think it turned out really cute with his little bone leg and his popped out eyeball. But just like, I've warned you, this is maybe not a beginner friendly crochet pattern, but I really, really love how this came out. I love the texture on the brains. I think it looks really complicated, but it was actually not too bad. And the tutorial is really, really helpful. There's like a video tutorial on how to do it. But this is the zombie pattern from Spinny Yarn Crochet. And I also finished him. He took me maybe 4 or 5 days, I think. And I find crocheting just to be a lot harder on my hands than cross stitch and even knitting. So because you have to use a small hook and make your stitches really tight to avoid like gaps, I think I need to like selectively choose my crochet projects. Also, another reason I love the Brene Velvet yarn so much is it's so easy. Your hook just glides through it. But I do think he is really cute. I'm happy with how he came out. Just a little bit more complicated than I was intending to start, but I finished him in time for Halloween and he turned out very, very cute. Also, in my last episode, I had shared a few Halloween themed squid that I had made from the Happy Little Squid pattern by Happy Crochet Lady. You can actually see the other two right up there. And I made a little ghost squid. So he's made in that same Brene Velvet yarn, and the only thing I changed about him was the rest of them have eyelids around. I left off the eyelids and I used slightly bigger eyes than the other one because I thought it gave him a more ghostly appearance. But I think these little squid are just the cutest. They are really quick projects. Like I can make them in an hour or so, and that just makes my heart very happy. So I have some ideas for like some Christmas, winter, holiday themed ones. So if I get around to it, but I have a few other things that I am working on before then. But there may be more squid in both of our futures. So there he is. So last crochet project is still a whip. This is the owl pattern by Little Owlet, and I will put in a cover image right there because I'm not finished with it. I decided to do mine in this purple color. Again, I'm not sure what this is. I forgot to write it down. I do have the yarn label. This is a very, very vintage yarn though. My dad's cousin was clearing out some old stuff, and I think she had yarn from her mom. The label looks very old, and I am sure it is at least a couple decades old, so I doubt you'd be able to find it anyways. But one thing I didn't realize is how much softer they've been able to make acrylic yarn. Like, I feel like most acrylic yarn that I get nowadays, even if it's not the softest, it's like not scratchy for sure. This is scratchy. Like, I would absolutely, there was several skeins of this, and I only took the one because there is no chance of me making this for something that would be wearing, like, that I would be wearing against my skin. Very scratchy, but I loved the color, and I think it's gonna make a really cute little owl. This pattern has some unique finishing instructions. Most other amigurumi that I have made, you like put on all the little pieces parts like the eyes and anything like that before you fully assemble it, but this you like crochet the full shape and then you add on all the other things. So I am going to be interested to see how that all shakes out. I believe in myself, I can do it, but that is going to be my little owl. Next up, I have some knitting to show you. I'm going to start with finishes. So the first thing I finished was this little frog. This pattern is by Dot Pebble Knits. Clare Garland is the designer's name. And I don't know if you remember, but if you've been following me for a while, back in January, I made her beginner bunny pattern. And I have yarn and patterns to make several more of the bunnies, but the frog was actually offered as a free pattern a while ago. You can purchase it now. It's just a couple dollars. But I had it for free, and then if you are on knitting Instagram or TikTok, you have probably seen this frog popping up. There was a creator, a content creator, I think her name is India Rose Crawford or something like that, and she makes like stop motion videos with these little frogs. So those kind of blew up, and since then I've seen these frogs everywhere, like dozens and dozens and dozens of tiny little hand knit frogs. So I decided it was time to make my own when I was making all my little stuffed toys, and here is how he turned out. I did put wire in his limbs so he's a little bit poseable. He is just so precious. There's also a pattern that I got to make little sweaters for this frog, so there may be some frog sweaters in our future too, I don't know. But I finished him and I knit him with the main yarn colors are minis that I got from the Fangirl Fibers Haunted Mansion Halloween Advent box from last year. I haven't used any of those yarns yet. I do have plans to use them, but as of now, I have not used any, so I pulled out a couple of colors that I thought would work. I think they turned out really well. This one's just lightly variegated. You can see some of the darker spots. And then I just had some Drops Kid Silk that I had purchased actually to make the other bunny patterns, but I'm hoping I still have enough, but I did use a couple of those since he's just so small to give him like the fuzzy halo. But anyways, that's my little knit frog. I will put the pattern name down below in case you also need to make a frog. This only took me like a day and a half to make. It wasn't a very big project. If you had like a full day of knitting, you could probably make him, but I did it over like a few work days. But I think he's so cute, and it made me excited about knitting the toys again because I've been on garment knitting lately. The next thing that I'm going to show is a gift. So if you are my dad, please stop watching. I have no idea if my dad actually watches these, but if you are my dad, please stop watching. I decided I try to make a couple of handmade gifts a year, and there's a couple people in my life who are like gift like knit worthy or cross stitch worthy or whatever. So this year I decided to knit my dad a hat. So here it is. And I am super happy with how this turned out. So I knit this using Wool Ease, the regular kind, not the thick and quick kind, in the color Forest Green Heather. And I used the pattern Jason's Cashmere Hat by Sweet Fiber Yarns. I think this is actually designed for like one of their yarns, but I used Wool Ease because it's machine washable and has a little bit of wool content. So anyways, this is what it looks like. I will put it on so you can get the full picture. So I think this turned out super, super cute. I hope it fits my dad's head. I'm gonna make my husband try it on when he gets home. I just finished this morning before work, so it took me, I worked on it over the course of like 3 or 4 days, but I finished it up this morning. This was my first time ever doing cables. I'd never done cables before, and they are not hard. So if you're a knitter and you're like scared to try them because they look complicated, they were not very hard at all. So this is just a simple cable and rib pattern. The brim is a really long rib, and then it folds over, and I'm hoping, it's pretty stretchy, so I think it'll be okay, but I'm just gonna have my husband try it on because his head is probably even bigger than my dad's, so it'll give me a good idea on if it's gonna fit and if I need to come up with something else. But I love this pattern. I will absolutely be making more hats in this pattern. Really quick stitch, and I think it turned out, like, I think it looks awesome. So that is Jason's Cashmere Hat by Sweet Fiber Yarns. And then my last knitting project is the Easy Eyelet Sweater Scarf by Knititude and We Are Knitters. I am knitting mine in the Maripaca in the gray, and this is available only as a kit on the We Are Knitters website. So I have made quite a bit of progress on this. I'm not quite finished yet, but I am getting close. Sorry for the noise. That's my cardboard box that all my stuff is in. So it starts off with ribbing, and then you just do stockinette and eyelets forever. So I am getting there. I'm getting there. I have less than 100 rows left of the eyelets, and then I have to do my ribbing again, but it's close. It's close. I am hoping to have this done soon-ish, although it hasn't really been an issue because in Michigan, right now it is still very warm. It is over 70 degrees today, and it is you know, second week in November. So anyways, we're having some beautiful weather yet, which like part of me is happy about, but also part of me is like, it's sweater time. I want to pull out all my sweaters. If it's dark at 5 p.m., the least you can do is give me sweater weather. But hopefully this will be a very quick finish. Honestly, this is excellent like movie and TV knitting because I can just kind of like, I don't really have to focus on it. I just have to count rows and make sure I'm doing my eyelets. But yeah, so that is just about done. So I'm really excited to have this be finished, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. All right, so I'm gonna do haul really quickly, not very much haul, so just bear with me, and then I'm getting to that really awesome book talk that I promised you. So Lady Creates occasionally puts up these bag of bits on sale on her Etsy. These are just like scraps left over from other things. I'm assuming things that aren't large enough for her to sell on their own, but you just get kind of a random grab bag of things. I've gotten one of these in the past and I have used a ton of stuff out of it, so I picked up another one when Helen, East Coast Crafter, let me know that they were available, and we're in like one of the Instagram group chats together, and she put it out there, and I'm very grateful. Thank you, Helen. I never pay attention to that stuff, but I love getting these. And so this one came with a lot of good stuff. It has a lot of longer lengths, which is nice, and it came with some velveteen. And I won't go through everything, but if you ever see these up for sale, well worth it if you like to finish your own cross stitch. I also got the penultimate Bird Crush Club. Can't hardly even believe it, but this month is the Violet Green Swallow. And there is the cross stitch piece. And there is the picture, and there's my stickers falling out. In case you were keeping track, this is 11 Bird Crush Clubs that I have and one that I've stitched, so it's fine, we'll get to them. I think they're really cute though, so I should stitch more. And then last month I showed you all my, or last video I showed you all my witch mouse from Just Nan, and I couldn't resist and I ended up getting a couple more mouse patterns. So this is the gingerbread reindeer mouse. Cover image is kind of hard to see with the background, but they're super cute. And then I also got the gingerbread candy mouse, and I already had the snowman mouse. So I think Misfit Stitches and I are going to be doing some sales of these because we have 2 out of 3. We both have 3, and 2 out of the 3 are the same. So let me know if you're interested in that, and maybe we can come up with like a formal hashtag. Otherwise, you're happy to you're welcome to just stitch along with us. And then I also did pick up the called for Picture This Plus gingerbread fabric that both of these call for. Okay, that is my haul. So thank you all for sticking around. If you are gonna head out for the book talk, I recommend that you stay. But if you're gonna leave, whatever, totally kidding, you're welcome to do that. Please let me know in the comments what you are working on while you watch this video. Also, I am very, very, very close to 2,000 subscribers. I've been kind of inching along these last couple of videos. So if you are watching this and you're like, you know what, I haven't subscribed to her, subscribe to me, please. I would really appreciate that, and I will do a giveaway when I hit 2,000, and I really appreciate you all. So give this video a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe if you hadn't, and thank you in advance. All right, so the book I'm going to talk about today is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. I think that is how you say their name. Hey y'all, editing Shelby here. Their name is actually pronounced Sangu Mandana, so sorry about that. I am explaining right now how I Googled it and forgot, and so I re-Googled it, and that is correct. This is seriously, this book. This book makes my heart so happy. I read it last month, so during October, so it was kind of like a thematic witchy book. But honestly, this is just such a sweet story about found families. It is so cozy and just like heartwarming, feel good. Like, I loved everything about it. The characters were wonderful. It is about a witch who has grown up very isolated in this world. Witches, to avoid detection, are isolated. They don't really see each other. There's like a group that meets once a month, I think, and that's for like a couple hours, and that is the only time that they ever have interactions with other witches. So this witch has a YouTube channel where she, you know, does magic, and it's real magic, but everybody on her channel thinks that it is not real magic. Somebody sees that and recognizes it for what it is and asks if she is willing to come and teach 3 young witches that they have living together in secret. And so she agrees, and the whole cast of characters was just wonderful. I absolutely adored like every single character. If you liked House in the Cerulean Sea, I think this would be a great read. Like, I've seen this described as House in the Cerulean Sea meets Practical Magic. I haven't read Practical Magic, but based on the movie, I think that is a very apt description. I love the way that they talk about magic in this book. I'm not a big sci-fi fantasy person, so really complicated magic systems, like, you've lost me. But this just felt very understandable and just cozy. Cozy is the word for this book. I think this would be a great one leading up through the winter season, because it starts around the fall, but it goes up through winter, and gosh darn it, just go read this book because it was so good. I loved it. The audiobook was great, but I'm sure like a print book would be just as good. So that's my recommendation for this video. If you have read that book, or if you're going to read that book, or if you do read that book and you like it, please let me know. I need everybody to read this book, and so far only one person that I know has read it. So if you've read this, I would love to talk about it with you. If you have any other recommendations for me, please put those in the comments below as well. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for putting up with my not cross-stitch content. I do really appreciate all of you, and I hope you are having a wonderful fall or winter, wherever you're falling on this on the holiday spectrum at the moment. I do obviously still have my Halloween decorations up, but probably by next video that will be swapped out for Christmas. So have a great couple of weeks, and hopefully I will see you very soon. Bye.